for as long as we can remember, the weight loss industry has convinced us that their strategies will get us health and confidence, from deprivation and restriction with diets to when those don't work, then weight loss drugs. And we've fallen for it. But it's all a lie. For the last 10 years, I've been on a mission to figure out what's going on. Why? Because 50% of our population say they're on a weight loss journey, yet obesity is at its highest rate ever. And as a society, well, we're just getting sicker and sicker. And what I discovered, the weight loss industry never, ever wants you to know. Like so many girls, I grew up believing that my value was in what I looked like. And that dieting, well, that was a way to increase my value. Essentially, we were all forced to wear a corset. Not a physical one, but a mental one. One made of food rules and body shaming and cultural conditioning. We have to tighten it and cinch it whenever we don't feel like we're enough. We have to shrink to be more. And the tighter we make it, the more praise we receive. Smaller is better, less is more, until we can no longer breathe. And sadly, it was this belief that launched me right into adulthood. Every commercial, every magazine, every TV show reinforced it. My mom ate a different dinner than the rest of us. She drank Diet Coke at every meal. I was a college athlete, and while I may have looked healthy, I was anything but. I had an eating disorder and a severe fear of food. And I thought I was alone in that, but turns out I wasn't. 84% of women have some sort of disordered belief or thinking about their body and food. As a mom, I never took a picture in front of my kids unless the scale that day told me I was deserving. I used to squeeze the fat in the back of my legs while looking in the mirror, imagining what they would look like if they were smaller, because then I would be happy and confident. All the while, unknowingly, my children were watching and learning from this unspoken truth of my lifelong struggle. Until one day, more than a decade ago, it stopped me dead in my tracks. It was a family Friday pizza night, and I didn't eat the pizza because I had salad with dressing on the side. I was on a diet. And my 5-year-old said to my 6-year-old, "Why does mommy never eat the pizza?" And my 6-year-old little girl said to her sister, "Because it has too many calories." And right there, I knew I was teaching them the same beliefs and the same patterns that haunted me my whole life. I was hardly the healthiest version of myself. How was I ever going to teach them how to be healthy? And I knew I had to change my family tree. And what I learned was that we are all conditioned to believe the genius marketing of the weight loss industry. And the stats prove it. Weight loss is a $158 billion industry, projected to be a $300 billion one by 2030. The average woman starts and stops 6 diets a year with the goal of losing weight, but the failure rate for keeping it off long term is 90%. So how is it that we have this industry with abysmal results that's growing so rapidly? Well, they have us believing it was our fault, our problem. We failed. We don't have enough willpower. We're unfixable and broken. But the thing is, we're not broken. We've just been taught a whole bunch of BS. As an award-winning educator, behavior specialist, and nutritionist, I teach my clients a totally different kind of BS. First, blood sugar. Blood sugar is the foundation of all of our bodies. When our blood sugar is stabilized, literally everything works better. From cravings to energy levels, weight loss, strength, hormonal balance, digestive issues, sleep, heart health. Every single function in our body is based on blood sugar stabilization. Even our mood improves when our blood sugar is balanced. I've helped thousands of people learn how to balance their blood sugar with a simple and satisfying approach without giving up their favorite foods by learning more about what their body needs. And the best part? We no longer have to keep going after these symptoms like a whack-a-mole game because we're finally giving our body what it needs and we start healing from the root. No more tracking, no more calorie counting, no more obsessing. Instead of depriving our bodies, we learn to nourish them. Instead of punishing them, we learn to partner with them and listen to them. And something amazing happens when we do. We start to speak what I call our body's love language. And in that process, because we're empowered and we're educated, the guilt and the shame of that tightening corset starts to loosen its grip. The second BS that I teach, behavioral science. Before I was a nutritionist, I was a behavior specialist for more than 20 years in schools all around the world. And I've realized that teaching nutrition was actually the easy part. It was getting people to actually show up consistently for themselves that was the problem. If you've ever said, I know what to do, I just don't do it, you know what I mean. But the multi-billion-dollar-a-year weight loss industry has no desire to teach you these strategies because they need you coming back. They have no interest in you becoming the healthiest version of yourself. They need you believing that you're the problem so that you keep coming back over and over and over. But when we understand our behaviors, our personality, our triggers, when we understand why we do what we do, the science of behavior change, well then we can start to adopt habits that last a lifetime. And while blood sugar and behavioral science are pivotal pieces of this BS puzzle, none of it will matter at all without the foundational BS. The mother of all the BS out there. Our belief systems. Your belief in yourself. 4 years ago, I got an Amazon delivery. And I was shocked by what was in the box. It was a tiara. Who ordered a tiara? I yelled to my girls in the next room. And my then 16-year-old daughter, Grace, came running in and said, I did. I ordered that tiara. Noticing the confused look on my face as to why she would have ordered that, she went on to explain, because I'm royalty. I know I'm important and I know my value. And this tiara will remind me of that. Plus, I always wanted to be a princess. She believed in herself. She believed she was worthy. And I realized she was becoming healthy and had nothing to do with her weight. I've helped thousands of people learn how to get healthy, becoming the healthiest version of themselves without stepping on a scale. But the thing that made it stick was their belief in themselves. See, we can't focus on two things at once. We can't focus on driving our car while also being on our phone. And for people who focus on weight loss as the ultimate goal, can't focus on what it means to actually truly be healthy because you won't show up for yourself the same way. People who are truly healthy love themselves too much to mistreat their bodies. But people who believe that weight loss is the path to confidence and self-esteem and their worth, well, they'll do just about anything to get there, including doing things that are deeply unhealthy. Jamie Kern-Lima, author of the book Worthy, wrote, "You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of what you believe you are worthy of. We were not put on this earth to find the right diet. We have to stop living like we were. You were put on this earth for a purpose, one uniquely curated just for you. And in order for you to fulfill that purpose for as long as possible, you have to be the healthiest version of yourself. And something incredible happens when you believe in yourself. 18 months after my daughter Grace declared her worth by buying that tiara, she auditioned for and was cast as Princess Belle in Beauty and the Beast in her high school musical. And when she stood center stage and took her bow with that very same tiara on her head, I knew that she had met her goal because she was the healthiest version of herself from the inside. She went on to perform on Broadway and is now studying musical theater at university, all because she believed she was made for more. And when I stopped focusing my identity on somebody trying to lose weight and shifted it to the person who was becoming the healthiest version of herself, I changed everything about my body and my life, and I changed my family tree. The weight loss industry has us believing that the outside is more important than the inside. But when you become the healthiest version of yourself, that's when the magic happens. You become confident and balanced and strong from the inside and the out. But we have to work actively, daily, to unlearn the harmful messages that our value is in a number on the scale or in the number of followers or in the number of likes. But the good news is we can absolutely counteract that harmful BS, and it's never too late. In fact, most of the women that I work with come to me in their 40s and 50s and 60s after having chased weight loss for their entire lives, amazed that by balancing their blood sugar, by learning more about their behaviors, and by believing in themselves, that they can finally get even more than what they were chasing after when they were just going after that weight and that number. We were not put on this earth to weigh less. We were put on this earth to mean more, to do more. So what if we took off that corset? What if we took off the corset and replaced it with the crown? Because when you do, it means you believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you can be the healthiest version of yourself. Not for the mirror, but for the mission you were put on this earth to fulfill. And then one day, without even realizing it, you'll be standing center stage with that crown on your head, taking your bow.